So when I was a kid, I was always asked to do the prayer, and not just the prayer, but I was always asked to read, and I was always asked to do this, and I was always asked to that. And now I understand why, because my teachers understood that I could do it. And so the prayer that I used to pray was, thank you, Lord, for this day. Thank you for waking me up this morning, starting me on my way. Thank you for life, health, and strength, and thank you for the activity of my limbs. And even though that seems like such a basic, generic prayer, it's really the truth. And at my big age, now I realize the little things we take for granted. A lot of people, don't have that. Just being in your rightful mind. The little things that we might make fun of others for, or the things that we might take for granted, to us it's little, but it's huge things. Like, there's people who literally die in their sleep. I remember being in the 6th grade, and my religion teacher had told us that a girl in the church, because the church and the school was connected together, a girl from the church that was not far from our age died in her sleep. And at the time, it just seemed like, oh, okay, whatever, that's just her. But no, it's starting to happen more and more often. There's so many people that are mentally ill, it's not even funny. Like, there used to be a time when, those of us that's, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, you would see it once in a blue. But now it's almost common, where people are just not in their rightful mind. So the little things that you thank God for, thank God for it. Thank God that you're able to do things on your own and think with your own brain, and you don't need assistance for it. Something as simple as writing a sentence, some people can't do that because not just lack of education, but there's other things going in their mind where they just can't phonetically do anything correctly. They need somebody else to assist them. Just across the street, something that we take for granted. There's some people that don't know how to do that. And, I just was like, thank you, Lord, for all you've done for me, because those of us who are, regardless of what industry you work in, especially if it's social services or like I used to work with special needs, thank God it's not you. Thank God it's not your kids. Thank God, because it could have been another way. Just like Vincent Bohannon, which is my son teaches choir, my favorite choir of all time. But they have a song called "It Could Have Been Another Way." It could have been another way. It don't gotta be like that. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to be able to pay your own rent with no assistance. You don't have to be knowledgeable and debt free. And just the little things, the little things that we take for granted, it don't gotta be like that. I was watching a movie called Strange Voices, and the girl from Facts of Life was in it. I don't know her name, but Facts of Life had 4 characters. So it was the blonde girl, Kim Fields, the girl with the dark hair, and another girl. She was like heavy set. So the one that was kind of tall with the brown hair, she was in a movie called Strange Voices. And she's a very good actress. She played the part very well. It basically talked about, and I just briefly wanted to talk about it. Schizophrenia starts between late adolescence into all the way as late as the 30s. Somebody could get it, and it starts off like just loud out. So the first scene, the sad part is it came out of nowhere. This is not something she was born with. It wasn't anything like that. And it was very educational to me because I was under the impression that this stuff is environmental. Like if a person, you know, like a person that's in born into slavery, that could definitely cause mental illness, because you're getting beat every day, you're getting raped every day, you're not eating. Like, it's amazing how they survive generation after generation. Approximately 200 years. The first boat landed in 16 something, and it was over 18 something. So that's a long time. We're talking about a few generations of just abuse and just going through hell. But it's not necessarily that. This girl was, white girl from the suburbs, had a very decent home life, no abuse or anything. She went away to school, and the very first incident was, she thought that her friend and her boyfriend was seeing each other, and it wasn't just normal jealousy. Like, it was to the point that she packed all her stuff and left the campus. So they they didn't know what was wrong with her. Mind you, this is like, the movie came out in the 90s, but this is a story about the 80s. They didn't really know, because it was taboo back then, right? So she packs up her stuff, she comes back home, and they have an event. Her parents have an event. They have all these people, her friends and everything, over. She has a loud outburst where she's screaming or whatever, to the point they like, okay, we need to take us to an emergency room, which was good. For me, I would probably just start beating the person, because it's like, what are you doing? You are causing a scene, you're breaking my stuff. Like, I don't even know what type of reaction I would have if that was a family member of mine. But it was so interesting to see that she didn't go through any abuse or any of that. It's just something that just came out of nowhere, and it was so sad. Then it got to a point when, they're working people, and the little sister's in high school, and she was supposed to watch after her, and so she almost burns the house down. So at that point, they oh my God, we have to put her in a group home, because nobody could watch her. Like, they have lives too. They can't stop working for her, right? So they put her in a group home, but then she leaves the group home, right? No one knows where she's at, this, that, and so, whatever, right? So she leaves the group home. She goes to a restaurant, eats, and unfortunately, they call the cops on her because she didn't pay for her meal, which to me is not right. She was dirty, whatever. You could see something wrong with her, or she actually looked homeless at that point. So why not just give her a plate of food and just say, hey, you can get one plate and leave, and don't come back here? Why would you call the cops on her? So they call the cops on her. She gets arrested. Luckily, it turned out to be a good thing, because her parents were able to find her when she was arrested. But it's a really good movie. And if you work in social services, it's really, really good to watch. And I'm actually going to even tell my director about it. And I think it'll be something good for all of us to watch, even at work, to really see wow, these people, not all of them come from trauma or abuse or poverty. Some of them actually really do come from, which is, some of the people I work with, they come from really nice upper middle class homes where the families do love them. It's just something that happens, and it's just really sad, But comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah, just got so much to thank God for, because it could have been another way.